3, 2, 1. What's going on, guys? Tobin here with you. I am about to go over to the Kaseya Center, hopefully for Terry Rozier's debut. But on the way down here, breaking news in the world of Miami Dolphins. Vic Fangio, Fangs, is out. And I got to say, I'm not super surprised. I'm a little okay. I'm a little disappointed, I think I would say, because obviously it was a big hire last year. There was a big show poniness of his whole hire where they thought they had Vic Fangio, and now he's gone. And, to find out that, a couple weeks after Mike McDaniel's final press conference, has it even been 2 weeks? Maybe it's only been a week now. Talked about this in the video about that answer. I found his answer about Vic Fangio pretty stunning. And, a lot of these reporters are really good for the Miami Dolphins. I don't know if Bees had a beat on it or what, but he asked about the idea of Vic Fangio coming back, if he was going to come back, and Mike McDaniel didn't say yes. And I just found that super intriguing when it happened. So, now the Miami Dolphins are in a spot where they got to get their third defensive coordinator in 3 years under Mike McDaniel, which isn't ideal. Apparently the word is that Vic wants to be back near his family, so he's going to go back to Philadelphia. I think the only thing that you take from this is there was obviously some hesitancy last year with him taking this job because of the whole process of it. He was around the Eagles for the Super Bowl. Why did he take the job in the first place? Maybe it was too much money to turn down. Who knows? But now they're in the spot where, he is going to go to a Philadelphia team. And I will say this for Vic Fangio. He has made it known that he does want to be a head coach again. And I do think that with Miami, I don't think the idea is Mike is going anywhere unless things really strike a disaster. I don't think he probably thinks this is a team that disaster is going to strike and knows that the relationship with the quarterback is very, very good. I do think that for Vic, if he wants to get back into the NFL head coaching circle, listen, the old can smell blood in the water. And I do think that if he looks at Nick Sirianni, whether he likes him or not, probably looks at that situation in Philadelphia, is like, well, if Sirianni gets fired, maybe I can walk in there, get the head coaching job. And I don't think that was going to happen under Mike McDaniel. But it's super disappointing for the Dolphins. Look, very uneven year for Vic. Had to deal with the situations of Xavier Howard's injury, basically half of his defense being out by the end of the year. And I got to say, there's got to be a part of him, too, that looks at the Dolphins and be like, man, am I really going to go back to this Dolphins team? We know that he didn't play Cam Smith. He is probably going to lose Xavier Howard. So is he going to go into the situation where he's got Jalen Ramsey, a rookie he doesn't like to play, maybe not have Christian Wilkins back, the head of his defense, the head of his snake, maybe no Van Ginkel, maybe no Bradley Chubb until the middle of the year, maybe no Jalen Phillips until the middle of the year. If you're Vic Fangio, you're old as hell. Do you really want to be in that situation where you got to coach in and patch this all together, or do you want to go try and fix things in Philadelphia? Plus, on top of the fact, you are closer to family, you're closer to home. So if you're going to be miserable with a team that maybe has its issues, at least you're close to home. You're not away from home. South Florida is not always for everybody. So I think that is all things that you got to take into account with Fangs and how he looks at this situation. Let me get the statement here from Mike McDaniel and what he had to say about Vic Fangio. And let's see. Excuse me, everybody. Schefter's initial tweet on it was, the Dolphins and Vic Fangio have mutually agreed to part ways. Fangs is now, he didn't say Fangs. Fangio is now the top target of the Philadelphia Eagles to hire as the defensive coordinator. A deal is expected. Miami is allowing Fangio to leave to be closer to his family in Pennsylvania. But Mike McDaniel's initial reaction to this was this. I want to thank Vic for his contributions in 2023. When we assessed the season, it became apparent that this was the best path forward for all parties involved. Now we turn our focus to 2024 and beyond with urgency as we identify the best candidate to lead our defense. Moving forward, we'll remain steadfastly committed to development of our players, to building a winning team with sustained success. Oh, there's something going on in here before the Heat game. I would say this doesn't sound like with Mike McDaniel that a lot of tears are spread. He basically had a defensive coordinator, obviously not in his age range. I think it's an interesting time for Mike, too, when it comes to a staff hire because, listen, what if Frank Smith ends up leaving? He's going to maybe have to hire 2 new coordinators, not by his choice. A little bit of what Sirianni had to go through in Philadelphia. But you think about his situation, he had so much focus on fixing Tua. He had Staley inherited, which is kind of a weird situation to inherit. Not Staley. What the hell was the dude's name? Boyer. They inherits Boyer from the Flores staff. That's a little bit weird. So then he gets to hire his own guy. But, of course, like Stephen Ross is like, I'll get you anybody you want. I'll get you Fangio, who's apparently was who he wanted initially. But they went with this of like, hey, why don't we just keep everything intact, make it simple as possible. Okay, fine. Now he's in this spot. Where does he go? Now, do the Dolphins stay in-house? There's some rumblings. A lot of the reporters are out there, going out there. And a lot of the reporters are out there saying Campanelli, the linebacker coach of Hard Knocks fame, who, of course, is talking about, whooping somebody's ass. It's the universal language. That's fun. I mean, he just seems like a good time. I don't have an exact issue against it. Here's the thing with me and coaching candidates. I don't really know. Brandon Staley is a name that is getting thrown around a little bit. Vic Fangio, disciple, could honestly keep things kind of the same. I don't know how excited people would be with that. He was kind of a laughingstock in LA. For me, I really would not find that to be an inspiring hire. Also, it was weird. I don't know if you guys saw this Javon Holland. I'm working on my phone and riffing here, by the way, people. So, bear with me. But Javon Holland had like this strange reaction on Twitter that was like, I don't know. Oh, did he delete it? Yeah, he deleted it. He was like, it was some like face exchange of a guy. It looked like he was at a rave, kind of excited or confused. I don't really know, but it didn't seem like Javon Holland was too upset with losing Vic Fangio. Of course, so they had that dinner at Hard Knocks where they all completely naturally explained it. But so I'm going to tell you the one that I threw out there, and look, I know I'm going to get laughed at about this because I always get laughed at about this stuff because I love this stuff. I love when legends come back and legends get brought back. And I put this out on Twitter, and I got a lot of backlash on it, but not backlash from the people I thought I was going to get backlash from. So I don't think it's that terrible an idea, to be honest with you. The idea that I went with was I think the Dolphins should hire Jason Taylor. Jason Taylor, been working his ass off at the Miami Hurricanes coaching staff. Guy has been a high school coach down here. He's got 2 sons, played Division I college football. This guy is a film junkie, loves the film, Dolphins legend, and also, you know what, same age range as Mike McDaniel. I just think that would be an inspiring hire. We can go in the same coaching circles, and I'm fine. If they go with Campanelli or they go with Brandon. I really don't like Brandon Staley, but if they, fine. I'm not going to disagree with you and quibble with it here. But let's go outside the box a little bit here. You go right down to Coral Gables. You get Jason Taylor off of Mario Cristobal's staff. You make him the Miami Dolphins defensive coordinator. First of all, you have 2 stars here at pass rushers. Who's going to know how to use them better than Jason Mother Bleepin' Taylor? And I'll tell you one thing, the Canes fan, this is the backlash that I got on Twitter. The Canes fan was not happy with this idea against me. They are very pissed that I even brought this up, which leads me to believe that everybody loves the idea of having Jason Taylor on the Hurricanes coaching staff, which I also got laughed at when I said he should be coaching with the Miami Hurricanes, and people laughed at me then. This guy is as competitive as they come. He's an absolute grinder. I would love the idea of Jason Taylor becoming the Miami Dolphins defensive coordinator, little in the same age range as Mike McDaniel, so you can relate to the guy. So that's old Tob's number 1 candidate. I'm going to go with this. I'm going to drive Leroy nuts with this tomorrow. But my number 1 candidate for the Miami Dolphins is Jason Taylor, 99. Bring him on in. Him, Sam Madison, reunited. I love that. Goosies galore. Goosies on top of goosies on top of goosies. And as far as Fangs is concerned, look, decent job. Certainly had to patch things together. I think you could kind of tell, this wasn't, his favorite stop in the world of his career. So talked about this in the video, and I think a lot of people jumped down my throat when I was talking about this. I was like, it's kind of weird that Mike McDaniel didn't say that he was going to be back. And so the fact that he is finally the fact that he has hung it up, not surprising to me. But we'll see. We'll see. Mike McDaniel's obviously got a busy offseason ahead of him with picking and rounding out this staff, if he's got to go with multiple coordinators or just picking in a replacement for Fangio. And we'll see if he goes in-house. It's going to be a big-time search of where they're going to go. And, as for Fangs going back to the Eagles, kick rocks, old man.